This is my friend Veridiana. Besides matcha latte, city walks, arts and designs, there's something that connects us beyond all of those things. Being creative. And today, I invited her so we could reflect on the creative process and its purposes. Together, we're taking you in this adventure because there's nothing more inspiring to a creative person than finding like-minded souls. And there was only one place we both agreed gather a significant amount of creative minds. What if creating didn't need a purpose? No product, no audience, no algorithm, no explanation. Would you still do it? What if the act itself was enough? Sometimes I feel like we're living in a world where everything needs to serve something. Everything needs an end, a result, a reason to exist. And sometimes that obsession with purpose prevents us from doing the very thing we're meant to do. Well, in my case, I can't imagine a life where I'm not creating in some way. Even if no one sees it, even if it makes no money, even if it never becomes anything. Because for some people, creating isn't a choice, it's a need.
I'm a graphic designer, creator, sometimes over social media, older sister, chaotic human being that lives in this chaotic city of New York and somehow silences the brain with everything that's going on. My worldview, I like to see everything as beautiful, even on the mundane stuff. So I'm the type of person who will not let you eat before I look at the whole plate in the restaurant and make it cute on the table and then take a picture. Or I will want to always be remembering and putting my friends on places and creating memories with photos. I just like to see everything as beautiful, even when they're not. Like sometimes you just see the trash and there's like a paper inside of the trash and then what's written on the paper is an actual cute thing and then it's cool. So it's just always seeing the glass half full. Okay, I think I have a good example. One time I created this installation called Reflexões, which translates to reflections. And it was this gigantic 8 by 8 feet mirror. And I was asking people, and there was an explanation on the side, asking people to reflect. So they would look in the mirror and they had access to all the Sharpies and pens and everything to kind of reflect on their day and leave their thoughts and just do whatever they wanted. And then a week passed since I put it up and I went by there and people were just sitting and doodling. It was not really the intention. They weren't leaving messages. They weren't like writing about anything from the heart. But I guess when you're just passing by something, you don't really want to engage with it. And that's something I learned. You don't really want to engage with it having to think about what you're going to put out there. It's just whatever is in your heart. And it was a great experiment because then I got a lot of drawings and doodles and messages, like political messages, activism, love. Some people looked at themselves in the mirror and just drew around their faces and then signed it. Or friends came in and left their names and then a heart. And at the end of the day, it just turned out to be this beautiful, chaotic thing that you couldn't even read whatever was there. and it was beautiful. I don't know. It was a great experiment. Even though people weren't really reflecting on their day, they were leaving their mark somehow.
Some artists created for churches, some for kings, some for survival. But many created because they couldn't not. Meaning isn't given, it's created. So you act first, meaning comes later. Albert Camus went even further. He believed life itself has no inherent meaning, and yet we create anyway. Not because it matters, but because we matter. Creating becomes an act of resistance against emptiness, against silence, against disappearance.
What do you feel when you see this?
Honestly, I try to understand it, first of all. And whatever I see is my starting point. So I see lips, a bird, eyelashes on lips. It's just like overall weird. And then you can kind of try to see, like, lamp posts that has the light and then the cords and stuff. I don't know, everything that I see. And then it's like, it's weird in the most amazing way because I see the lips and I'm like, wow, I miss kissing someone. And then I see the lamppost and it's nostalgic and I have no idea what this is about. But I look at it and I'm like, oh, maybe there's like a bed sheet going in the wind. And it just gives me the vibe of Brazil, kind of.
Do
I don't know
you do you
why.
think like the
Just
artist?
made me happy.
But do you think like the artist had like an intention
Oh,
when?
of course not. Like, not at all.
So you think
Nothing
like
to see.
the intention behind of the artist, like purpose to do it, and then your view of it like are divergent?
Oh, completely, because we have different backgrounds. We're probably from two very different places. We have different cultures. We have different upbringings. You'll never see something the way that it's intended to. I don't think that's possible.
And if you're wondering, this is the artist's intention behind it. And you can see that somehow it matches what Veridiana was kind of like saying. So you can pause it and see and read through it to understand a little bit of the purpose behind it.
The actual interesting point is that to recall shapes and relations of things which are common to all mankind kind of aligns with the no purpose, because it's almost like he's creating all this abstract things that everyone can somehow relate to in a different way. Mm-hmm. So we chose the perfect painting.
Yes.
As we walked through those monumental halls and art exhibitions of the Met Museum, we couldn't help but wonder, when we stand in front of a painting, a really beautiful one, what do we feel? Is that feeling something the artist placed there? Or is it something you brought with you? Maybe both? Perhaps the artist creates, and the world decides what to do with it. So, where does purpose live? In the intention or in the interpretation? That's the real dilemma here. In the generation we live in today, not that this is a bad thing, but we've came to a point that we need to optimize everything for efficiency, to give an output, a return. And in trying to make everything useful, we made creating almost unbearable. We stopped starting things unless we know how they would end, unless we know we master that. But that also creates another dilemma. How would we ever start if we don't give ourselves permissions to commit mistakes? But creation doesn't work like that. You don't create because it will work. You create because something inside you demands movement. At least for some people like me. I create for no money. I don't get any revenue out of this. But I still have the urge and the need within. You know what feeling this evokes on me? Of something being ripped.
Oh, interesting.
Something being ripped off.
Like a crack in the middle. Why?
I think it's because of the shape. This black color here. And it's like very warm colors. And then the green. Interesting, right? It's almost like dizzying looking at this one. Because there are so much like strong colors, they are kind of competing for your attention. The questions that always revolve around my head and remains, if no one sees it, does it still exist? If it serves no one, does it still matter? I think the answer is simple, but you have to come up with your own answer. For me, the act validates the self. I went back to Veridiana's apartment because she wanted me to see one of her favorite creations.
Excuse me.
It was initially a project for her grad school in which she had to transform data into something visual. But she felt really inspired and compelled to create something that would not only fulfill the assignment, but also resonate with herself. And that went farther than she could expect.
Okay, so in my last semester in grad school, we all came back from summer. And not necessarily the same thing, but something related to this. And we were like, okay, so now let's do something with the risograph. Like that was the only starting point. And I decided to make something with the emotions that we felt. So we started the trip really excited. So I tried to visualize excitement and impatience, which is really similar to excitement because you want something and you want it quick. But here is more like happy and highs and lows and everything. And then like the impatience, you kind of see something starting really slow and then really fast, or really small and then kind of bigger because of the squares. Worried. So I have this little planet here and I call it my little planet. So it's kind of the worriness coming through, and like in a blue, like the blues when you wake up on a Monday and you have the blues. It's kind of sad, but it's also like attention, bursts of happiness.
That's great.
Relieved,
Right.
which is a like breathing. Anxious. This was the trickiest one because I am a very anxious person, like very anxious person, and for some reason, hi Tom, I couldn't visualize anxiety per se. So I just chose two colors that didn't really go with each other with the Rizo. Like they don't really match. It's not aesthetic. It's just a blurb of straight lines, and it kind of feels like anxiety for me somehow. Sadness, again, coming with the feeling the blues. So you can be very sad, a little sad, and like the movement of
Like the
sadness.
shades, yeah.
Stressed, so you can see like the stress, like you're very stressed, and then when you mix a little blue into red, you get purple. So you can like, it tries to calm you down, but like your stress is taking over everything. And this is my favorite one, which is alive. And a lot of people in the past told me they had different analysis of what they see, but
Like interpretations.
yes, but in my view, it's kind of like a door and all the possibilities. When you're alive, you like walk to this portal and you get something, and it's brilliant. And
That's beautiful.
I took this to a bunch of art book fairs and I sold a bunch of them. Some people bought the 9. Some people just wanted 1 or 2 because they felt like
When
they
you
related
created that,
to
you
it.
already had like the intention to sell it, or you just
No, not at all. I created it for a project in grad school, and people
turned out,
loved it.
yeah, people were
Yeah, like
interested.
all my friends wanted it. Everyone just was just like, "Can I have one? Can I have one?" And like paper is expensive, so I printed a bunch, and I have like off prints that most of the time I just give to my friends when they come visit. I have prints that I need to put up on the wall, but they're here because I just moved. But they're my babies, and I don't know. I'm so proud of them, and at the same time, I like every time that I look at them, I feel a different thing because I'm in a different moment of my life. So these were in the wall of my previous apartment, and I don't really know what wall I'm gonna put here, but it's always like, oh, I'm getting home and I'm like that. Today I feel like this.
Oh,
Today I
okay.
feel like this.
That's cute.
It's almost like playful. I don't think I can imagine a day in my life or a life per se where I don't create with purpose or without purpose every day. Like, look at my house, all the knickknacks that I have. It's just, I can't imagine a future where I'm not being creative and putting this bursts of bubbliness out there. Bye.